refuse to accept it.
It's a quest. It's a quest for fun.
Well, The Rock says, why don't we just cut right to the chase?
Okay, now he wants to get together. Well, he wants to talk.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
It's showtime, folks!
What are you?
I'm...
Wow, that was
Hello
fun.
there.
That was
Greetings
fun.
and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the first episode here for Nerd Culture. We are calling it Our Way, Mandalorian Review. This is where we are going to discuss our thoughts and do a little bit of a recap for you about what has been going on with The Mandalorian. Yes, The Mandalorian Season 2 is finally here. The first episode dropped this week. So just to give you a warning before we start, this is going to contain spoilers. This is going to be a spoiler-heavy discussion of The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 1. It is titled The Marshal. We're going to give a brief recap of it first, and then we'll go into our thoughts of what we thought about the overall episode, where we think the series could be going next within the next episode. But I am not alone in this, because The Mandalorian, he runs into so many different characters, so many different people on his journey to figure out where does the child belong. So I'm joined by Gregory Lee. How you doing, man?
Hi, I'm doing well. Watch The Mandalorian this morning, so I'm fresh and all caught up. And I have some thoughts.
Absolutely. We look forward to hearing your thoughts. So just to give everyone a basic recap of what happened in this episode. This is Season 2, Episode 1. It's called The Marshal. The Mandalorian is trying to find out where the child belongs. So he tries to find more Mandalorians so that he can be more guided on his way to figuring out what's going on with this child and where does the child belong. So he gets a tip from a crime boss who is a heavily disguised, played by John Leguizamo, who informs Mando that there are more Mandalorians on the planet of Tatooine. Well, where have we heard Tatooine before? Gee, I don't know. It's been around the Star Wars galaxy since the very beginning of 1977. So he goes to Tatooine. He goes to the docking bay, and the mechanic there tells him, you should go to Mos Pelga. That's potentially where you could find a Mandalorian. So he goes to this small town that's run down. There's just some people living there. They're, just trying to get by, trying to survive. And he runs into the marshal who is protecting the town. The character's name is Cobb Vanth, played by the veteran actor, veteran of television and film. Timothy Olyphant is back, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it's funny that he's the marshal of the town because he has previously been known to play U.S. Marshal Raylan Givens on the FX hit original series Justified.
That's where I knew him from.
Yes,
I was just
based on the short story of Fire in the Hole by Elmore Leonard. So yes, Timothy Olyphant, it is great to see you again. It is great to see you playing a somewhat similar role to what you were playing on Justified. And hey, if you're a marshal,
still handsome.
You're just doing it in outer space. You're just not on Earth for this set of cards that you've been dealt here. But here's the thing about Cobb Vanth. Cobb Vanth is wearing a very familiar looking outfit. He is wearing Boba Fett's armor. The armor that we have not seen since he was thrown into the Sarlacc pit in Return of the Jedi in 1983. Yeah. So, where did he get this armor? Well, turns out that Cobb Vanth found it, and he bought it off a bunch of Jawas. So the Jawas, which are known to be dealers, junk dealers, all that sort of stuff, they must have I'm guessing they must have fished it out of the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah.
And then they sold it to Cobb Vanth, who bought it for him. And then Cobb Vanth is patrolling this small town, Mos Pelga. But here's the problem with this small town. There is a giant creature. Imagine if Tremors and dragons on Game of Thrones had a baby. This is what it would turn out to be like. It is a crate dragon that is destroying the town. It is eating away at the environment. It's eating away at its inhabitants. One by one, if not by small groups. Tusken Raiders, aka Sand People, are making an appearance in this episode, and they heavily factor in to how the town could potentially be saved from this said dragon. So what ends up happening? The Mandalorian strikes up a deal with Cobb Vanth. If you help me get rid of this dragon, get it out of town, I will give you the armor. Because Mandalorians, they take their armor very seriously. If he's not a real Mandalorian, he doesn't want Cobb Vanth wearing it. So it goes on from there. The adventure continues. It was wild. It was crazy. It was explosive, to say the least. There were a lot of explosions.
There was a lot of explosions, a lot of melting people. That was fun.
Yep, and Tusken Raiders, aka Sand People, we get to see more of their culture and how they communicate with each other and how they're able to communicate with the Mandalorian. It is fascinating, fascinating stuff. So as we learned in season 1, this series is awesome. And as we're continuing to learn in season 2, there's still a lot more characters to introduce and there's still a lot more story to tell. Now, at the tail end, the very end of this episode, as Mandalorian gets the armor, takes the child, they ride off into the sunset. There's a familiar cloaked figure that is watching the Mandalorian take off, and that would be someone we weren't sure if we were going to see him, but he's back, ladies and gentlemen. Boba Fett is, in fact, still alive. He has escaped the Sarlacc pit from Return of the Jedi, and he wants his armor back. So I'm assuming that somewhere down the line in this season, or in whatever shape or form they wish to take it, the Mandalorian's going to come across Boba Fett, and Boba Fett's going to want his armor back. So that's going to be an interesting showdown in the wild western of space, to say the least. Now, I thought this episode was really good. I thought it was wild. It was crazy, especially when they're out in the desert trying to destroy the dragon, put it to rest, save the people, save the village, and get the armor from Cobb Vanth. And by the way, the bickering and the banter between Mando and Cobb Vanth, played by Timothy Olyphant, fantastic. I think it's really good banter. It's a good partnership. It's intriguing. I love it. So overall, I really enjoy this episode. Now, Greg, what are your thoughts on season 2, episode 1, The Marshal for Mandalorian?
I will say that I liked it a lot more than the opening in season 1. They got right into it. They really have started diving more and more into like the Western feel of the show, which is kind of what I wanted personally anyway, because I love Westerns, and like the fact that like these things have become like mini Western movies, like episode by episode, is like amazing. But I honestly thought that like he was going to let him keep the armor after all that. Like I honestly thought that like Mando was just going to be like, you know what, you helped me out, like here, you can keep the armor. Like you're using it to protect, like you're using it to protect your town, like you're using it to like protect your people, and like that's what like the Mandalorians are all about. Like we're here for like each other. So I was just like, let him keep the armor, but he took it. But the fact that Boba Fett was at the end and like looking at him just like, I'm gonna go get my armor back. I was just like, oh, so you're just gonna bring Boba Fett back, and then they're gonna cross paths, and then he's gonna learn from Boba Fett. Like he's gonna learn some Mandalorian tricks from Boba Fett. Okay, I can get behind that. Like I'm fine with that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm man. Boba Fett is still alive. That's insane. But there's been a lot of speculation. There's a lot of people saying that he's going to make an appearance in season 2. So
I hope so.
We've been hearing about it for a long time. I just didn't want to buy too much into it because I just want to watch the show for what it is and judge it on its own merits. And if he shows up, great. If he doesn't, hey, at least won't be disappointed because it's been rumored, but it hasn't been 100% maybe confirmed or not. I don't know. I don't read too much into the details of the articles online because I just want to go in fresh. But
I feel like it would honestly be like a waste of a cameo if they didn't bring him back. Like if they just like showed his armor, started teasing like, ooh, Boba Fett's coming, and then like don't do it. It's just like, why do you even bring like the specific actor back then? Like why would you bring him back? But I mean, like I'm actually like really looking forward to this season, just because like or at least I hope there will be Jedi and like more like delving into like the Force and how it's being used outside of like the Jedi Order. Maybe like that would be interesting. But like I'm just very excited to see like where this series is going to go. Like the series, like season 1, I will admit, didn't like the first half of it. It was a little slow. It was just like, okay, like you have this guy going around with like this kid that he didn't want, but now he wants because evil people are doing evil things with the child, so he has to save him. And like it was a lot of like building, but like now that they've already established and built the world, I feel like they can just take it and run at this point.
Yeah. That's very true. That's very true. So So yeah, I get what you're saying there. For some people, maybe season 1 was a bit of a slow burn, but I get it. No worries. But you know what?
Only in the beginning, like
Only in the beginning. I
second
got
half, I was just like, okay, like this is now a space western, and like I'm into it.
It's getting better and better. So yeah, I cannot wait to see where the season goes. I mean, the cameo at the very end, that's definitely a big tease. They're going to let us know what's going to happen with Boba Fett. When we saw him, he was just standing there looking out over the Mandalorian. So I wonder, does he have a ship to get off Tatooine?
It looked like he had some like Tusken Raider gear, like he had like their like long like musket gun and like their like battle stick or whatever it is.
Yeah. They're rifles, or their sniper rifles, whatever it's
Yeah.
called. Yeah. So I'm hoping he has a ship, because if he's just going to stand there and be like, oh, but hey, you know what? Maybe he does have a ship already, or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's like, okay, now I know who has my armor. Now I just got to get a ship and go after him. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes. But that cameo at the end was cool. But yeah, Timothy Oliphant, I hope he makes an appearance later on down the line in the season, because I like him as an actor. I like his character. There could be some good working relationships between. Yeah, there could be a good working relationship there, or partnership, if you will, between Mando and Cobb Vanth. So I'm looking forward to it. But I gotta say though, the highlight for me was just the explosions in the desert, and them throwing these explosions or trying to shoot at this crate dragon and just get it out of there. And he was like, "Do I blow it? No, not yet, not yet. It has to come out to a certain distance before we can blow." It's just, and then he goes into the mouth with a bantha, and the explosives tied to that bantha, and then he sets off the detonator himself while he's in the stomach. It's like, oh my lord, like this is insanity.
I really like how the director was kind of just like, we'll make it
Jon
seem like
Favreau
he's dead.
in this case.
Yeah, good job, Jon Favreau. Like, really good first episode. But like, I really like how he was just like, we'll make it seem like he's dead. But it's just like, it's the first episode. Like, no, he's not gonna die. Like
It's
how
impossible.
it's impossible. Like, he has the armor, he has the child. Like, he's not gonna die.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, this was, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't, and by the way, if you're watching this live, let us know in the chat what you think of this. Was this the first time that the child has not played a significant role? Because I feel like the child was just there to watch, but he didn't actually use his force powers. He didn't heal anybody. He didn't look at anybody weirdly. Like, he was just there to watch. Like, he really didn't play a significant role here.
Yeah, I mean, he did really take like a back seat
this
episode, but like, I mean, honestly, like, how much does he really do in each episode? Like, he is kind of there. Like, honestly, like, he was there just to sell merchandise this episode. Like, he was just there for merchandising purposes this episode. Like, the child was just like, I'm here, cut me a check. I'm just gonna look cute and like play with things. Like, that's it. But like, yeah, he really didn't like do anything, because like usually when like Mando's like in a lot of trouble, that's when the child is just like, okay, like let me help you out, like let me lift this up with my force powers. Because like honestly, when they were trying to get the crate dragon like out of its cave, like I honestly thought like the child was just going to be like, okay, let me just like pull him forward.
Yeah,
like,
come on, kid, do the magic hand thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I thought he was going to help a little bit more, but he was just like, no, I'm just here to watch. Like, I know we're going to be fine, so whatever. But yeah, like, I really do hope that the child, I mean, sure, he's like a baby, so he can't like do much, but like, I kind of want him to take a bigger role this season. Like, and just being like more of a character than just something cute on screen. Like, I would love for the child to like actually develop into a character instead of just like a plush doll.
Well, Lord knows the child merchandise is all over the shelves.
Oh yeah,
every major retailer. It's all over the internet. It's all over the internet memes. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I okay. So you want the child to play a bigger role than what he did in this particular episode. For me, I'm actually on the opposite side of that. I'm okay with him taking a back seat and just watching the Mando do his thing, because so much of the first season was about finding out what this bounty is and what can we do to figure out, how am I going to get paid for this bounty, or do I just keep him with me? Do I pass him on to somebody else like the armorer, or do I pass him on to the mechanic in Tatooine, the woman who was telling Mando where to go? Because,
I love her.
She took care of the kid last season and it worked out fine.
Yeah.
So, by the way,
I
that
love
mechanic character, she's cool too. I like her, and plus the
She's
3
great.
little droids that she looks over on the docking bay of Tatooine. She's like, "Come on, guys, get away from his ship. He says he doesn't like your kind anyway." Yeah.
I love when she's just like holding the child. She's just like, if this thing ever like multiplies or splits, like I'll buy one. It's just like, yes.
I'm probably kidding, but probably not. Yeah, it's like, hey, how much do you want for him? I mean, I'm just kidding, but probably not. Yeah, she's trying to like bargain with him and everything. Like, hey, I want. Let me buy the child, or if there's another one out there and you find one, if he splits in 2, let me have the other one.
Yeah,
But she was a funny character though.
I really like the side characters in this show, just
They're
because
great.
like Mando, like great character, but you don't get a lot out of him. You get
He's
a
like,
very
I'm here for
stoic,
this,
like
I'm here for that, and I want to be on my way.
exactly. But like the side characters that are always like around him are always like very interesting, and like they keep the show fresh. They keep it more than just like you're just hanging out with this like very quiet loner guy and a child.
Yeah, that's very true. But the mechanic was good. Now, I didn't know this until I watched a video explaining it a little bit more. Did you know that was John Leguizamo as the first alien that he encounters at the boxing match? Asking for information on where he can find more Mandalorians.
I did not.
Yeah, John Leguizamo.
That's interesting. Who is John Leguizamo?
He was John Wick's mechanic in the trilogy. He's the guy who tries to fix his car.
Haven't seen John Wick.
Okay, well, he was also in the movie Super Mario Brothers from 1993. He played Luigi Mario.
Oh, is his name? Wait, so is Mario's name Mario?
I think they may or may not have made that up for the movie, or maybe it's in the games. I'm not sure because I haven't played the games in a while. But yeah, think of Luigi who wears the green outfit.
Yeah.
That was John Leguizamo.
Okay.
That's who he is. Granted, it's been 25, 30 years since that movie came out, so a lot has changed. But
I know of him now. I know of
John
him.
Leguizamo.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Like that opening scene was actually like really good. Like that was a really good
Gamorrean guards
scene.
who we remember from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. Really good opening scene. Really good fight choreography. Like no like rapid cuts. It's just like a straight up fight scene, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah. That Gamorrean it wasn't really a boxing match. It was a fight because they had
More
axes
like
in the ring.
Fight.
It was an axe fight, if you will. And then you had people in the audience screaming like, "Take him down, take it." It's like, well, he's trying, but every time he hits him with the axe, he just gets a shield.
Yeah, it's like the axes were like shielded. I don't know, but
it was kind of strange. But it was fun to watch though. And then also
it
when
was
you have
fun.
Who is it? John Leguizamo is saying, I forget not Boss Karga, but I'm thinking of Grief Karga, played by Carl Weathers. No, but the crime boss who's played by John Leguizamo. He says, this is no place for a child. Wherever I go, he goes. So I've heard. Yeah, it's like, oh boy. And then they pull out their guns, and then did you remember? And this was in the trailer, so this isn't exactly a spoiler. When they pull out their guns to take out the Mando, the child.
Oh yeah.
Let me push the button. I gotta shield myself. Something bad's about to happen. Then he takes his darts out, and then he blasts him. And dude, he takes a knife out of his utility belt, wherever it was, and just flings it at that one guy. Man, that was crazy.
Like I said, it's like a great fight scene. Like it was a great fight choreography. Like the stunt team, like everybody involved, like that was wonderful. And like when he catches him outside, and he's just like, "Okay, I'll tell you, just don't kill me." And he was just like, "You will not die by my hand," and he didn't. Like he just shot the light out, and whatever those like
red-eyed
things,
creatures,
whatever those were, like they took care of it.
Maybe they were warped Jawas. I don't know. Maybe vampire Jawas. I don't know.
That's terrifying, actually.
No, it is. I don't think they were Jawas.
I don't like
I'm not
that.
familiar with the creature on that particular planet. If anyone knows, let us know in the chat. And for those of you who are watching us, thank you so much. If you have any thoughts about The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 1, The Marshal, let us know in the chat. We'd love to hear from you because we're getting towards the end of this here. So I want to, let's see, the fight choreography I thought was really good. Mando's suit looks better than ever. By the way, Mando riding the speeder bike, that was pretty cool.
I love that's the thing about like Star Wars. Like there's so many like cool little things that you don't even think about until you see them, and you're just like, wow, like that's an interesting like little world building like mechanic that they did. Like the red-eyed like demon things on the first planet. Like we never saw them, but like they were just like an interesting thing that were just like in the background, and you're just like, what are those? Like what are why aren't they attacking Mando as he's like walking through the streets? And then like when he shoots the light out and then they start coming out, you're just like, oh, they're kind of like vampires. Like they hide from the light and they attack in the dark. Like it's like a very interesting like little thing that is being used in the show. Like it's very interesting to like just see the world being built. Like that's kind of what I'm going for. I'm rambling, but like I love world building is like one of my favorite parts of like any show or any book or just like anything. Like if you take the time to like beautifully craft this world, like I want to see it. Like I want to see more of it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So as far as Mandalorian being on a speeder bike, I think there's an action figure set supposed to come out with that, featuring him on the bike, against the bike. So if that happens, I'm just saying, Star Wars, you probably got my money, because that's a really
Ryan,
cool
they have
set.
your money already.
Hey, it's a cool set piece. It's a cool, it's a cool scene. Just him riding through Tatooine with Cobb Vanth on their speed. And by the way,
I really like the
Cobb
Marshal's
Vanth
bike.
The Marshal was riding a remnant of a pod racer.
I knew that's what it was. I was just like, that looks really familiar, and I was just like, that's not a pod racer. No, this isn't pod racing.
It's remnants and pieces of a pod racer. But I will say, to see all these different set pieces and these little nods to the prequels and other parts of the Star Wars galaxy,
yes,
with like familiar pieces of weaponry, technology, planets, environments, all that sort of stuff, it's great how it all ties it in together. I love it.
Yeah, and I really like the one scene where the Marshal was talking about what happened after the second Death Star explosion. Because again, like that's just building the world. That's just saying like because like after the second Death Star explosion, you're kind of just like, oh wow, that's good. Like there's going to be peace in the universe. Like everyone's going to be fine. But like nope, that just created more lawlessness, and like that's when the town got taken over, and like that, and then like you see the
mining
just
guild.
show you how this like small mining like community was taken over, and it's just so interesting. Like that's why I really like the Mandalorian, because it lets us see more of the Star Wars universe from different perspectives, and not just like Jedi and Sith. Like you're getting you're getting a mining colony. Like I never knew a mining colony would have been like so interesting to watch.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff to see some of the events that occurred right after Return of the Jedi and the second Death Star exploding, and you think there's going to be freedom for the galaxy, but no, there's more to this than meets the eye.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with this. That is going to do it for our first episode of Our Way Mandalorian Review. We look forward to seeing what happens next in the next episode of The Mandalorian Season 2. I'm just looking forward to seeing where this thing goes. There are no previews. There haven't been any trailers released for the upcoming episode, because when the episode ended, I fast-forwarded through the credits to see if there was going to be a sneak peek of the next episode. There wasn't. So, but you know what? Sometimes that's a good thing. You just watch the episode, watch it for what it is, and experience it for yourself. Now, if you haven't had the chance to see The Mandalorian, I strongly advise you to go into Disney Plus, stream all 9 episodes that are available for streaming right now at this very moment. Yes. And then let us know your thoughts in the comments section when these videos go up on our YouTube channel. That is going to do it for Our Way Mandalorian Review. Once again, my name is Ryan of Nerd Culture. Greg, thanks for being with us. You can find Greg, myself, and every one of us, the rest of our team at Nerd Culture, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at It's Nerd Culture. Videos are up on our channel right now. We got new ones coming your way very, very soon. We drop videos every week. Check out our podcast. It's called The Nerdcast. That is on Anchor, Google, Spotify. Wherever you download your podcast, you can find it there. Also, if you're watching this live, make sure to check us out right here on our Facebook page today, 4 p.m. EST. We're going to be doing an interview with Mick Strawn to celebrate Halloween. He worked on the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise.
So cool.
So we're going to be talking about his memories about working on those films. He's also got a new book out that shares his experiences of making a Nightmare on Elm Street for the Dream Master. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, take it easy, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. Happy Halloween, and this is the way.
This is the way.